We have a crisis in our streets that is driven by our homeless issues. Of course, Oregonians are feeling it.
Republican candidate for governor Christine Drazan believes the solution to this crisis starts at the state level. And if elected, she will declare a homelessness state of emergency.
Handing this out down to municipalities, I don't think is the best approach for full responsibility. If you think about it, homeless populations, by the nature of being unhoused, they really do move between jurisdictions.
What tools will you use specifically that, say, we aren't using already?
You know, the opportunity to provide a legal basis for communities moving forward with their response to homelessness, I think, is very, very important. I think a lot of communities, if you talk to local mayors, county commissioners, they feel like their hands are tied today. But it will be support for shelter space, it will be additional investments, and it will be support for the workforce that will back up the mental and behavioral health needs that we have as a state.
And where will that money come from?
You will see in my first budget a prioritization of that with dollars that are otherwise being directed right now to programs that are not as essential and critical. So we're talking general fund support.
On your campaign website, you say that you're aiming to make homelessness rare and temporary, while some of your competitors are aiming to get rid of it altogether. Why is it that homelessness won't be going away under your leadership?
Yeah, the approach to homelessness, I think, needs to be an approach that's long-term. There are no magic bullets to, in some cases, the human condition. And we have programming right now within the metro area that local jurisdictions have adopted that I'm really strongly supportive of. And that program right now is called Built for Zero. And the concept behind this, it really is that they are able to better understand who's on their streets and better understand what services and supports they need to transition from being houseless to being fully stabilized and able to, contribute to their own lives and their best future again.
She will also work to repeal Measure 110, which decriminalized possession of certain hard drugs.
Legalizing Measure 110 was a mistake for Oregonians from my perspective now that we've seen it on the ground.
And so there is a lack of addiction treatment facilities in, say, in Portland. Yeah. What will you do to increase those facilities and those services?
Right now we have the ability to work alongside our nonprofit partners and others to ensure that they have the support that they need to continue to expand services.
And so what specifically will you do at the statewide level to increase these services?
We have got to better understand what's available right now, where our opportunities are to get people into treatment immediately, and then make the decision for, okay, what services are lacking, what else do we need to expand, where do we need to expand it?
If homelessness is someone's primary issue, primary concern going into this election, why should they vote for you?
I am the only candidate in this race that has not been a part of the problem for the last 10, 20 years that got us here.
Now, we also talked about her plans to increase affordable housing and her aim to fully fund police departments. You can watch the full interview on our website. Now, if elected, she would be Oregon's first Republican governor in nearly 40 years. Now, we're talking with all three candidates about this crisis. Tomorrow, we sit down with Betsy Johnson, and next week, Tina Kotek.